bowel movements. Anyway,
That's what I meant.
Gibson has announced that it will now be selling authenticated vintage
Yay.
through the Gibson Garage. So now you cannot have to worry about your Gibson because they'll sell you a vintage one and say it's a real Gibson.
All retrofitted with robot tuners.
Guaranteed. You can have that done because that will actually be a sought after Gibson one day. No, it's kind of a neat story because at first it's like, wow, that's cool. And I was like, oh, there's some bad parts to it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I don't know about that. But in the end, maybe it's cool. Maybe it's really cool.
Seems weird.
It does seem weird. That was my first instinct. I was like, this is weird. Do they really just want to be a guitar shop super, super bad? Because there's not, but then I was like, you go.
I'm going to risk being hypocritical.
You be a hypocrite.
Because some people would use this argument against like, oh, a relic, you're not earning the thing. But to me, I would think part of the fun of getting a vintage guitar would be like going on this journey to find it. You know what I mean? And like, so when you just literally turn up at the Gibson vintage store where they got a warehouse full or whatever. I mean, I know that like, okay, you know it's real. You don't have to go through any of that stuff. It's authenticated. All those things are positive. But I think for me, like I wouldn't be looking at it as an investment so much as I want to own this historic thing. I think the fun would be getting it from the cool little old lady who her husband used to play it, and she tells me the story, and I get to see because we see that,
okay.
You know what I mean?
I hear, but that's so hard for like the normal person to do. So that's where I sort of am thumbs up on this. I think in a different way. I like that you're counter because it creates a Siskel and Ebert type thing. Who's Siskel? Who's Ebert? I love them both. I love that. I used to watch it every Sunday. I think it came on. That's how I knew about movies. I've been obsessed with them ever since.
Would it be funny if you had never seen a movie? You only knew about movies.
So I'm like reading about them.
Just like reviews.
Or like some of the kids that I work with and like that have never played these video games. They just watch the playthroughs. Yeah. I'm like, man, you're missing the nuance.
Be like going to buy your vintage guitar from Gibson.
Because a dear friend of mine, Randy, has just bought a sort of vintage custom shop from a fellow in England, and the process is scary. Like when you're buying a guitar from England, that's your guitar. You're not returning that guitar.
That's true.
You buy a guitar in England from us, that's your guitar. Canada too. A lot of tricky Canadians for some reason. But there's one that ended up being like a guy we ended up really liking. Though.
Yes, that's true.
It was like this really weird friction thing. I was like,
strange, but
he just got on the phone. I was like, this dude's really cool. What the hell's going on? That's a long story. But he was actually really nice. I like the guy. I respect. And our Silver Sky went to a Canadian.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was nice.
But there's a lot of criminals in Canada too, which is baffling. That try to do like the whole credit card fraud thing. Now, I would like this if I'm looking for a vintage, like say 335, and I know that I can just go to Gibson. It's been authenticated. It's got the badge or whatever. They're going to give you a little piece of paper. Yeah. It just makes me feel safe in my.
I get that.
You know, I'm not going on some journey to some, you know, like RV park where like they're learning how to be space pilots to fight the Galactic Empire, Zor or Zon or whatever.
Oh no, it's very important. It's very important. They fight things.
No.
Unless a space assassin comes to your trailer.
Talking about one of my favorite movies, if you know what I'm talking about. It's from the 80s. I'm not going to say the name.
I actually knew this one. Because I love it. Oh, it's such a
The Death Blossom.
Yeah, that's...
When you go back and watch it, there's literally like 5 minutes of actual space combat.
Oh, yeah.
There's not much. I remember there being so much more. Like, oh.
I haven't seen it in so long. I wonder if it would be boring to me now.
It's boring.
Is it? Okay.
I watched it recently. It's still cool. I watched it with my kids. Space robot alien sex thing was funny too with your children. That's inappropriate. Anyway. Now the only problem with this might be that, you know, Gibson's not exactly great at keeping records. And they sort of
what do you mean?
They kind of got rid of all their records at some point. Like they don't have any, like they've been trying to find the logs of their old historic guitars. And they're not exactly great with like answering customers' questions on like, hey, I've got this sort of vintage Gibson, can you tell me about it? They've been really bad about that historically.
Gibson and the space program. They're both just like, records? Screw it. We went to space. We've done this.
So therein lies the problem. Like, how deep is Gibson going to get into this? You know, because are they just going to do these like they have like 4 or 5 pieces they're doing their initial launch with, which is sort of small in my world.
Well, see, I wondered was this going to be more like? It makes me wonder. My initial thought, does Gibson have like all these cool vintage things squirreled away somewhere?
I think they do have cool stuff in their vault, obviously, but they're not selling.
They're not selling that really.
Well,
maybe somewhat.
But some of these pieces, I mean, they have like, there's 5 guitars for sale. There's a Gibson 1959 Sunburst Les Paul, 61 Les Paul Standard, a 59 ES 355 Mono. I have a 61 355 Stereo, which mine was mono in some ways. But I have a friend that made me a cable. Thank you again. 82 Modern or Moderne, however you like to pronounce it, and a 56 Les Paul Jr. So those are the first. I thought, if Gibson's going to unveil this, it's Gibson. There'd be like
a ton
30,
of stuff,
50 vintage pieces. But I think they're just test marketing it. I'm sure how it goes. I honestly, this is weird. I hope it goes well because I think it's cool just to feel safe about your purchase.
How much does this hurt places like, Groons or Carter Vintage or Rumble Seat, like places where you think, we buy vintage guitars from these stores? Does it hurt those places?
I don't think it hurts them. They're so established.
Right.
Those are legendary, sort of like grandfathered in shops of joy. Like if you're a newer, 10 years and younger, or even 20 years and younger vintage shop, that's not like it can definitely hurt that. And if you're a private seller, 100% cut you off of the kneecaps a little bit. But just as far as like if there's two pieces out there and they're like the same prices, if I can buy it from Gibson directly, I'm going to probably
some people are going to do that, yeah.
Just to be safe and not worry about like, getting like completely, fake instrument.
I mean, there's something to be said. I know I was like, oh, you got to go visit the folks who have the actual vintage guitars, but
it's like your own certified pre-owned Lexus. It's just like that.
BMW.
It's like, Mercedes has a problem that does this.
I'll never have either of these problems.
I mean, I'll tell you, my pre-owned Lexus, it has duct tape holding the dash. Plastic that's sort of coming up is black tape. It looks nice. It doesn't look terrible.
It's about like the old Gibson acoustic that was today dust. With the cable merged.
I was thinking about, are we talking about the J45? Somebody did a funny comment on like the one J45. The guy's like, that bridge is an abortion or something. I think I was like, yeah, there's been some bad bridge works done, but but not bad. It's not bad. It's just different. It's new.
That's an original though. On that.
I don't. Yeah,
we won't get into it here.
It's just it's not.
Not always the best design.
And some people just hate Gibson. I mean, I have a 65 Hummingbird that has the movable bridge, and it's not a good design. It's a terrible design. It sucks the tone out of it, but I'm not changing it. It's cool. The guitar is awesome. This is a funny thing. So I hope it works. Like they're looking for, this is a quote, golden era blue chip pieces. I'm sorry. Let me start again. Where was it? Golden era blue chip guitars, prototypes, celebrity owned guitars in 70s and 80s models directly from the Gibson vault. When they said like 70s and 80s, I was like, they're going to be overpricing these pancake bodies like nobody's business because you're going to pay a premium. I mean, I've got some pancake bodies too, and some
you do,
and some of them are cool, and they're awesome. I love them.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how all that stuff's becoming sought after. 70s things.
We would have thought like 1978 Stratocaster. It's a thing now.
It is a cool.
It's a cool thing.
I mean, I don't.
No, it's funny because like I obviously we come from a shop perspective, but we also primarily come from a guitar lover's perspective.
Yeah.
And so my guitar lover's perspective loves it. In some ways, I think it's a cool idea. I hope it works. My shop perspectives, I get a little bit irritated with these like legacy shops that are there. They won't get hit by it too hard, obviously, because this is 5 guitars.
I mean, and it's only Gibson, but you know what I mean? It's not like everyone's doing this. I mean, there's tons of vintage guitars that are not Gibsons.
What?
I know, it's crazy, but I don't know. What does it do? Like, let's say that you're in the position now to sell your vintage Gibson. Do you think you call Gibson? Do you go to the local shop? Because I mean, I know a lot of times we get calls from family members of people, especially when it's a person that's passed away. They have no idea. They just don't know. They wouldn't, they're probably not going to be aware that Gibson sells. So is that going to make a difference? Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know either. I hope it goes well. I hope it, I hate the idea of it. I love guitar shops. And I've been to the Gibson Garage. It's awesome. If you haven't been, the guys that work there and the girls, fantastic. I love everybody that works there too. It's like, so I consider that strangely a guitar shop.
Call our pal, John Wolford. Just like he's the guy.
He's called the SM of the Sex Machine is like his code name, and he's in the acoustic room. Usually, you walk in, hang a hard left, you can pass go, don't collect $200, go straight to John. You'll be spending much more than $200.
Look for the attractive man who knows all about acoustics.
He's attractive. He's a good looking dude. He's a bigger dude too, and he's a good looking guy though.
The John really is a cool guy, and knows. I mean,
He's a good bear.
That's part of why the Gibson Garage is great. Everyone that works there is great. Everyone that works there that we've interacted with, I mean, I know it's limited, but is super knowledgeable.
Well, the last time I was there too, like a guy who's like worked in shipping and like sort of like the warehousing of it, I believe. He popped up and we got to hang out for a bit. He was a super cool guy, and like everyone I've met there has been awesome.
Yeah.
So agreed. That's why I wish it well. I still like, I love the independent guitar shops, and that's what built the entire brands that these things are being built on now. So I'm a bigger fan of that, obviously, but I'm going to give it a tepid thumbs up right now.
All right.
That work? Are you still thumbs sideways?
Yeah, thumbs down. I don't know if I'm thumbs down.
You stick with that. I'll go here, and let's see how it could be this, if this is the only bit of guitars they release, and then it's just a bunch of like, sort of like 1983 Les Paul for $8,000 or something crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, it just might be a nothing,
I'm waiting to see if they just go nuts and like, we can charge this. We're Gibson. It's authenticated now. It's like, I
mean, that maybe is an extra layer of, having the Gibson certificate and blah, blah, blah.
It's going to add a percentage point.
Of course it is.
And I might be willing to pay for it if I felt better in my purchase, because it's scary out there in the vintage world. But don't get me wrong. This first batch of guitars is going to be very expensive. Expect six figures, obviously, on some of these pieces, and this ain't for the faint of heart. It's just for me and you, Johnny.
Hey, putting my bid in now. Got to have the tone.
Yes. God bless us all. That's all I got to say. But thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We started. It's been a long morning already. We don't even know. There's so much more bad stuff we gotta do later today. I want positive. I'm gonna make it all. I'm gonna turn all the bad positive.
Turn that. Yeah, that's right.
Start the morning with like yucky emails too. It's like I'm gonna turn this positive. I'll make it all. I'm gonna make everybody's day happy. I'm gonna turn that lemon into oat bran. Peace be with you. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the old bell.
See you soon.